Welcome back, True Seeker. I think we're live. I want to talk about Monday Night Football and some things that definitely went wrong with the picks this week. We'll start with Monday Night Football because that's the most pressing. Where's my week 5 discussion? I should have had it up on the screen already. Here we go. We'll skip down here to Monday Night Football. We got the Redskins at the Saints on Christopher Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. The Indians already got rocked and are eliminated from contention. The Braves could theoretically be eliminated from contention tonight by the Dodgers. At least we got the Cowboys at Texans game, right? But here's what it is. It's Monday, October 8th, the 281st day of the year, the day leaving 84 days remaining. And something I noticed is this is the 49th season of Monday Night Football. Washington has that gematria of 49. So does America. United States of America has the gematria of 84. Interesting. So the Saints are a 6.5-point favorite, and the over-under is at 52.5, right there between 52 and 53. We know the Redskins have a lot of 53 connections this year, which is why in the summer I thought that they might possibly be the surprise team in the NFC. I've also suggested that if it's not the Redskins, it's most likely going to be the Rams. Another team we have to keep an eye on is the Saints. So tonight's game could answer a lot of questions about the three teams we're looking at. The Rams and the Chiefs, the only undefeated teams. If the Saints win tonight, they'd be a game behind the Rams. If the Redskins win tonight, they're going to look like a real contender. This would be a big win for them on the season. And if I wasn't looking at the numbers at all and just understanding that the NFL is full of riddles and mockery, I'd say, I mean, how are the Redskins going to win on Christopher Columbus Day? But it is also Indigenous People Day. But the Indians already getting blown out. It's not a good sign for the Redskins. It's not a guarantee that they're going to lose. But look, real quick, or let's just go through all of this. There's some numbers that say that the Redskins have a real chance to win tonight. You know, I'm torn up about this pick. There were some real strong number riddles this weekend for teams that didn't pan out, which I'm still scratching my head at. But let's just look at this. This is going to be the 27th regular season game between the two teams. The Redskins lead 17-9. The Redskins can pick up their 18th win on a date with 18 numerology. The numerology today is 56, 47, 29, 20, 36, 18. 47 is a big number in D.C. The word Indians equals 47. That didn't pan out for the Cleveland Indians, though. And Washington, D.C. also has the gematria of 56. Football, 29's football. Won't be surprised if a team finishes with 29 points tonight. Big football number, football numerology date. These numbers, we're going to see them tonight, no doubt about it. And again, it's Monday Night Football. Things are very repetitive with Monday Night Football. There's always big tributes to 33. So often Monday Night Football, the score starts off 3-3. Happens more often than not by accident. But numbers that should click on Monday Night Football. And I believe we're going to talk about the number 93 here in a moment. But here's what it is. Again, this will be the 27th regular season game. The Redskins could theoretically pick up their 18th win on a date with 18 numerology. Redskins can also pick up their 10th loss, and Smith can pick up his 39th road loss. When you write out 10, it has the gematria of 39 like Alex Smith. Another thought. Remember, Redskins equals 99, so does Drew Brees. We're in the 99th NFL season. They signed Adrian Peterson, who came into this season having 99 career touchdowns. Alex Smith's old college football team, the Utah Utes, they used to be called the Utah Redskins. This is going to be Alex Smith's 162nd game. Now think about this. That's a huge baseball number. Baseball's 162. Major League Baseball's 162. We have the two native teams in the MLB playing today, the Indians and the Redskins. And Alex Smith in his 162nd career game, who used to play for the Utah Utes that used to be the Utah Redskins. I mean, how weird is that? Again, these leagues are perfectly scripted. It's really well thought out. And this is more evidence that that is the case. Alex Smith is 92, 68, and 1. That means he can pick up his 93rd win tonight on Monday Night Football. You know? One more time, Monday Night Football 93. Alex Smith, 39, the reflection. Remember last year, Alex Smith won on Monday Night Football by the numbers, and then there was a shooting at his old school in Utah. Remember that? I actually got my YouTube channel deleted over covering the synchronicity between that game, the score, and the details in the shooting. I didn't even have enough strikes. They just deleted the whole channel over that. Away, Smith is 40 and 40 right now. This is going to be his 81st game, the ritual number away, all time, 40 and 40. When you write out 40, it has that gematria 84, just in light of the day having 84 days left in the year. In case you're new here and trying to get better at gematria, remember, in the dark blue cipher, the most important one, United States is 40, United States of America is 84. And when you write out 40, the mutilated word that it is, it sums to 84 at the alphabetic order. You know, like, why isn't there a U in 40? We spell 4 with a U. We spell 14 with a U. We spell 400 with a U. But 40, we skip it. It's because the whole language is cleverly thought out, and there's a deep riddle there with 40 and 84. So anyway, interesting the way the numbers align. If it's all about history and Christopher Columbus, I mean, Christopher Columbus was paid for by the Catholic Church, which the Saints have a clear parallel to. And he journaled about how easy it was to kill the Native Americans. So do the Saints blow out the Redskins tonight? I mean, if I did not know the numbers, I would think that's the case, but these numbers all point to the Redskins. So this is what's killing me. With regards to Monday Night Football, where 33 is the number, Smith equals 33, Gruden equals 33. That's the QB and the coach. Indian equals 33, MNF 33. Now, there's been numerous times where we've seen how when the 33 connects to the team and it falls on the date, it's more like they're the ritual sacrifice. Like today, the Cleveland Indians got wasted. Cleveland 33, Indian 33, right? They got destroyed. And what else is funny about the baseball games is if both the native teams get knocked out tonight, the Indians and the Braves, if they both get knocked out, they get knocked out by the Astros and the Dodgers, the teams that met in the World Series last year. So again, Smith could get his 93rd win. We talked about how Monday Night Football's 93. I should point out that Gruden's 93 too. And think about how his brother used to call the games on Monday Night Football. For Smith, this will be his 155th regular season game, taking away his playoff games. He's 90, 63, and 1 in those games. On the road, he is 39 and 38. He could pick up his 39th road loss on the regular season tonight. That jumps out at me because Indians 39, Alex Smith is 39. That's interesting. Smith to date is 1-3 against the Saints, meaning he's either going to be 2-3 or he's going to be 1-4. Now, here's a really interesting one. Drew Brees, this is his 266th game, and it comes 266 days after his birthday. That's a trip because right now with the Catholic Church, we're in the time of the 266th Pope. Those of you who are following me in 2015 might remember when the Pope came to the United States to meet Obama, and it was the most numerological thing ever. He came to the United States on the 266th day of the year, the day he met with the president. So look, Brees can get his 153rd win tonight, right? His 153rd win. And the Pope, who's the 266th Pope, he's the first Jesuit Pope. Jesuit orders 153. I'll remind you that Holy Bible is 153. And when they came over here and killed the natives, they said it's because they weren't good people because they didn't follow the Holy Bible. They were savages. At home, Drew Brees is 84 and 48. That means he could get his 49th loss against Washington. Washington's 49. Or he could get his 85th win, like National Football League's 85. Hold on, I got to check something real quick. Washington Redskins is also 85. So it is just not easy to call tonight. And again, you guys, I hate saying this over and over, but I do not know what is going on this season with primetime games. In years past, the narratives were always the easiest to see. This year, it's like almost every week, it's just making me pull my hair out. The primetime games are so overlapping this year. It's like, did they figure us out? Are they busting our balls this year? Or is this just the way this year is? But primetime games are killing me this season in terms of how tight the narratives are. So he can pick up his 85th win, Washington Redskins, or he can pick up his 49th loss, Washington. Again, it is the 49th year of Monday Night Football. With regards to him potentially staying on 84 wins in light of the Jesuit thing, Jesuit's also 84. So it doesn't really help us. It goes either way. It goes either way. If it's a baseball thing, and it is a baseball thing, remember we're in the year of the 114th World Series. Could he potentially pick up his 114th loss? And I apologize if I'm making your guys' heads spin because I'm telling you. The point of me presenting it this way is so you can see why sometimes it's so difficult to call. In years past, if you guys followed me on primetime, usually there was just a real clear narrative. Just everything stacked a certain way for a certain team. It's like, okay, this is easy to call. Like last year. Last year, it was just a cakewalk almost for every single game in primetime. This year, it's not true. In the regular season, this is going to be Drew Brees' 253rd game. He's 145 and 107. If he loses, he stays at 145, right? There's a big Catholic thing going on here. Catholic's 145. And notice, if he loses, he gets his 108th loss on October 8th, 10-8. Remember, they make 108 game balls for the Super Bowl. Why did they do that? Because the word geometry has 108, and the most important shape in sacred geometry is the shape of the football, the vesica Pisces, 53. Here we are in the year of Super Bowl 53, where there's a lot of 53 connections with the Redskins, as we've covered. At home, Drew Brees is 79 and 47. With a win, he stays at 47 losses on a date with 47 numerology. Drew Brees to date is 3-4 against the Redskins. With a win, he'd become 4-4. 4-4, right? Genocide equals 44. Manifest destiny. Let's not forget this. Manifest destiny equals 87. This is the Redskins' 87th season. Dallas Keuchel, who killed the Indians today, he was a span of 87 days from his birthday, which I talked about this morning in the audio release. Let's see. The game is 154 days or a span of 155 after Smith's birthday. Remember, it was also his 155th regular season game. Big number that connects to... You know what? Both of these numbers, 154 and 155, they're both interesting. Ritual sacrifice has gematria of 154. Killing has gematria of 155. And... again, I won't be surprised in light of what happened to the Indians if the Saints do light up the Redskins tonight. But there's one more piece that has me doubting or questioning if that'll be the case. And it's with the coaches. Sean Payton, he's 108 and 72. If he loses tonight, he stays on 108 wins. And Drew Brees picks up his 108th loss in the regular season on October 8th. If there was not this whole Native American thing today, Christopher Columbus, indigenous people, I would call the Saints as the losers of this game and the Redskins the winners. But because of what it is and the date the game's scheduled for, it makes it really hard to do that. Consider the last 2 years on Monday Night Football on Christopher Columbus Day, the Vikings have won and the Bucks. Both teams that have to do with pirates and ships and coming to North America, like Christopher Columbus. Those teams won clearly for the Christopher Columbus riddles. I mean, when you think Christopher Columbus, which is the more known holiday than Indigenous People Day, you can't help but think of the slaughter of the natives. You just can't. In light of this whole thing with the Pope, too, 266 days from Brees' birthday, his 266th game, I had to measure. This game is a span of 71 days from the Pope's birthday, and Catholic equals 71. He's going to turn 82 in a span of 71 days. Vesica Pisces, 82. I mean, this game is going to be something else in terms of the symbolism. Jay Gruden, it's his 68th game, the coach of the Redskins. He's 30, 36, and 1. Sacred geometry equals 68. So does mathematics. This is Sean Payton's 181st game. Again, that's the 42nd prime number. Don't forget Alex equals 42, the QB of the Redskins. And don't forget Alex Smith came from the Chiefs to the Redskins for just one more native riddle. The game is a span of 218 days from Jay Gruden's birthday. That's a number of death. Again, he coaches the native team. This game's also 83 days before Peyton's birthday, or a span of 84 days. 83 is the football number, also the murder number. 84, the United States of America number, the Jesuit number, the Masonry number. So it is the numbers say Redskins win. The numbers say Redskins win. Smith picks up his 93rd win. The cultural narrative and the scheduling of the games, and they say the Saints win. So, and in light of the fact of how many games lined up for the numbers for this weekend, the teams that didn't win, it's like, honestly, this weekend, and I'm not saying this is true going forward, but something is up this weekend. And that's what I'm going to talk about next, because I'm realizing a riddle this weekend that I did not consider. And it's funny, if you listen to my radio show this past Wednesday, I actually shut down, or I didn't shut them down, but I just said, I don't think that that's the riddle you want to look at. But what's funny is I think that caller was right. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But what else is weird is Wikipedia's Monday Night Football. The last game it kept track of was this game right here. The Redskins lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was the last game they tracked. They stopped tracking Monday Night Football on that website on this game, September 12, 2016. And what just tripped me out is I just wanted to measure from the last game they tracked. Understand, this isn't the last game that the Redskins played on Monday Night Football. They played since. This is just the last one that the website tracked. They just stopped for some reason on that date. From that game to today's game is 108 weeks later. And I said, how weird is that? How weird is that? Today, October 8th, where 108 is a big number riding on the game. Don't forget that Major League equals 108. There's 108 double stitches on a baseball in light of Alex Smith playing in his 162nd game and the two native teams going in the MLB. But yeah, I can't tell you anything confidently with this game. If you want to ride with the numbers, it says Redskins. Again, you want to ride with the cultural narrative, it says Saints. And yeah, it's just, here, we can look at the location geometry too. That was something I didn't do. New Orleans, 45. New Orleans has that baseball geometry. That's interesting. And also 144, like Jesuit order. New Orleans, Louisiana, 49. It's the 49th season of Monday Night Football. It's the Washington number. Also 83, like football. Counts 83 days from Sean Payton's birthday. Also 227, the 49th prime. This is giving us a back and forth too. Yeah, if you want to bet on tonight's game, I mean, go with your gut. That's what I would say. What do you think they're going to do? You think it's going to be a native slaughter like it was for the Cleveland Indians? Or do you think it's going to be the 108 special, and the one native that does well today is the Redskins? Actually, something we can go peek at real quick, and I know that game's not over. It's just underway, but the Braves are up on the Dodgers. The Braves are up on the Dodgers. Okay, we got to keep an eye on that. The two narratives that I floated for the World Series that made sense to me were, and this is in recent weeks, were the Dodgers and the Indians. We know the Indians are done, so it can't be that. I also did mention that it could be a Dave Roberts series, Dodgers and Boston. I also said another thing that made sense was the Braves in Boston, because the Boston Braves were the old baseball team. We expect the Patriots to be in the Super Bowl in Atlanta. So that one, if the Braves win today, that makes things, that strengthens the odds of the Redskins having a chance to win. But that's not going to happen in time for us to make a call on the football game, unfortunately. So one Indian team did get slaughtered, though. That's for sure. And let's see what that final score was. 11-3. Okay. 11-3. Like how last year the Astros were in the 113th World Series. The Dodgers have a chance to defeat the Braves, who won in that World Series last year. Interesting. Looks like right now we got a scoring situation. Something could happen. Here, let's continue to talk about NFL Week 5, and we'll come back and check on this game and see if there's anything there. So, actually, instead of even looking at the let's just go to the here. We'll come up here and we'll come back to the baseball games. I just want to look at the scores. All of the teams that I thought would go 1-3-1, instead of doing that, they all went 2-2-1, and all of them did. Let's go back over what those games were. The Browns were one of those games. The Steelers were one of those games. And the other one was the Vikings. And, I don't know. I mean, it just made so much sense to me for these games to become 1-3-1 with the Super Bowl riddles in light of how this game was on a date with 17 numerology, 17 weeks from the Super Bowl. Notice the Falcons go down with 17 points, right? Falcons are hosting the Super Bowl. Their record would have been 2-3, like how the Super Bowl's on the date with February 3rd, 2/3. So anyway, that obviously didn't happen. I thought we had the Eagles winning the Super Bowl hosted by Minnesota. I thought that was another going to be 1-3-1 thing. To me, that just made so much sense. And at least I was right about those Jets and the 9 ritual. The Browns and Ravens thing, I did point out what the other person brought up, which were some great points, and he was right to question. He thought it might be in the Browns' favor, and he was right, absolutely. But again, I thought we were going to get another Super Bowl riddle here because the Patriots and Colts game had a clear Super Bowl riddle. The Colts used to be in Baltimore. We've seen these Ravens and Colts riddles go back and forth. But anyway, it wasn't this way. All of the games where I thought it'd be 1-3-1, it became 2-2-1. And if you listen to my radio show this weekend, a caller called in and he talked about this. He said, I'm seeing in my decode the Bavarian Illuminati. And what I said to him is I said, hold on, I got to spell it right. What's wrong here? Something's wrong. The Bavarian Illuminati. My phone. Okay, hold on. Let me start off. The Bavarian Illuminati. There it is. It sums to 221. Was it something to that before? Maybe my eyes aren't working. But 221. Caller this weekend called in. He was bringing this up in his football decode, and I said to him, I said, you know what, man? I wouldn't include the Bavarian Illuminati in your football decode because it's kind of like an abstract connection to the NFL. And you know what? I don't think the caller was wrong now. And I thought about it more after this happened. All these teams became 2-2-1 because the thing is, the Bavarian Illuminati was established May 1st, 1776. That's the date they were established. Here. Just in case you don't know, I'll show you. They were established by Adam Weishaupt on May 1st, 1776. Right here. Bam. Bavarian Illuminati, a Masonic order. And we know Masonry is connected to football. By the way, the name Adam Weishaupt equals 51, like conspiracy, like how May 1st is 5/1. Isn't that nice? Notice it's also 75, like New World Order. There's a lot of things there. But anyway, that date, 5/1/1776, it's a date with numerology in 99. 5 + 1 + 17 + 76 is 99, right? And here we are in the 99th NFL season. We're in the 99th NFL season. Again, when you write out 13, it sums to 99. The Bavarian Illuminati was established with 13 families. NFL has the gematria of 13, right? Super Bowl has the gematria of 41, the 13th prime number. Now, I thought, I thought it was more logical to say, look, the more clear narrative is this weekend syncs up really nicely with the football or the Super Bowl, which is in 17 weeks, which is 119 days. The Falcons are hosting. The Falcons 119. I thought they were going to upset the Steelers, make the Steelers 1-3-1 for a nice Super Bowl riddle. But instead, we get all these teams as 2-1-1. And when I saw that, the first thing I thought of was the caller who brought this up, who I said, I don't think that's a good idea. And now I feel bad about it, honestly. I mean, I didn't mean to give him a bad opinion, and now that's what I felt like I did. I feel like I gave him a bad opinion. I feel that that caller actually had a valid point, and I should have thought more deeply about it. I should have thought about how the Bavarian Illuminati was established on a date, May 1st, 1776, a date with 99 numerology in light of the 99th NFL season. But I mean, even listening to me say this out loud, isn't this more abstract still than just looking at the potential 1-3-1 riddle like Super Bowl in light of everything else? It is more abstract, but this is the way it ended up being. And, you know, hindsight's always 2020, but I'm going to be straight up. Even if I had considered this Bavarian Illuminati ritual, I still would have favored the 1-3-1 thing because it's still just more straightforward. But it just goes to show, and I just want to be so honest and straightforward with this knowledge. We can predict the games. I mean, I told you guys the Dolphins and Bengals game was all about 17. The Bengals were probably going to win, but there was a major upset narrative for the Dolphins. It was possible. The Dolphins go down with 17. It's not hard to understand why. This Ravens-Browns game was a really special matchup, and the Browns edge it out, you know? I'm thankful for the reader who caught what I overlooked in the initial decode. That's why I put it out right away, because I saw that they had a point. But still, I was like, I still like the 1-3-1 thing. Well, wrong. Packers and Lions. This is the thing where, again, I say, numbers can line up with the team, and majority of the time when the numbers line up like that, it's a good thing for them. There were a lot of Packers numbers on this game. In case you missed what I just shared about Mason Crosby, I'll do it again. I want you to see what happened. Mason Crosby was the reason they lost, right? He missed 13 points. He missed 4 field goals and an extra point. Now look at this. Look at how perfect this was. From his 34th birthday to this horrible game was 34 days later, right? Green Bay and Freemasonry are both 139, which is the 34th prime number. And the kicker on the football day, remember, it was the day leaving 85 days left in the year, National Football League 85, Green Bay, Wisconsin 85. The Packers got the big G on their helmet, like the symbol of Freemasonry. This is why I thought the Packers were going to win. And had I looked at this, you know, the way this lined up with Mason Crosby, it would have made me think they were going to win even more. Because I'm like, oh, look at that. The kicker, football, he's got the perfect numbers for the day too. But they didn't. And this is the thing that I still do not know how to overcome. And I'm hoping that the day that we overcome, when we figure out what the connection is with whether my terminology is sometimes a player or a team falls on its number. For whatever reason, that day, their number's not good for them. It seems like it's 1 out of 4 times I would say it's that way. You know, for whatever reason, sometimes a team, when their numbers line up, they don't perform. They blow it, like this Packers-Lions game. And it looked early for, you know, Mason Crosby was missing these field goals right out of the gate, right? It didn't look good from the Packers the way he was shanking these chip shots. And, of course, they lost. And his kick's the difference in the game. And then he misses 13 points, right? You write out 13 as a word, it sums to 45 like Mason Crosby. Anyway, this is something we still have to overcome. We have to figure out how to overcome this. I got to figure out how to overcome this. That's the way I feel. I'm saying we because we're talking about this together. But this is the one piece that's my goal to overcome. And right now, I'm just telling you, I still don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that makes that difference where sometimes a team self-destructs on its numbers. It's obviously something. There's some piece of this pie that I haven't connected the dot to yet. And one day that dot's going to be connected because there is something that's over my head right now, but for how much longer? And perhaps one of you guys figure it out before me, and that would be awesome. So is it odd weeks? Is it even weeks? No. You know why I know that that's not the case? Because week 1, everything lined up for the Packers, and they had to come back by the numbers. That was an odd week. This was an odd week. I have said this in the past. It's like maybe I say sometimes it just seems like when every number lines up with the team, they lose. Consider the date of this game. October 7th, 2018, 10 plus 7 plus 20 plus 18 is a date with 55 numerology. He missed 5 times in week 5. And Wisconsin also has the gematria of 55. I don't know if there's some threshold for the amount of things that line up for a team when it's like, okay, that many things line up, they can't win. Sometimes it seems that way. So, you know, That game really surprised me. The other game that I really feel bad about, I told you guys my 3 strongest picks were the Chargers and the Chiefs. I was real adamant about the Chiefs. They were both right. But the other one I gave you was the Titans because it was the 43 special for the Titans. And I got to tell you, every time that I've witnessed 43 come up for a Titans game, it's been in their favor, other than when they lose in a game that combines with 43 points. But where like the date numerology is 43 or it's the 43rd matchup or 43 days from the QB's birthday, it's always gone in their favor. This was their 43rd matchup with the lowly Bills, and they lost. I don't know what to make of that either. That game's got me stumped this week. It's got me stumped. So I see why they did the 2-2-1 thing. To me, it still doesn't seem to make more sense than 1-3-1. I can't tell you why the Titans lost. I don't see any reason they should have lost, but they did. Had we gotten those games right, we would have had a really good week, you know. Overall, the teams I was leaning towards mostly won, but the game I was really confident about, the Titans, didn't go that way. The 1-3-1 thing didn't go that way. Those are the things that tipped the week and made the week a bummer. And I apologize, you guys. You know, I don't want to give you guys bad picks. I sit over here and feel guilty. And we'll have better weeks, as you know. So I'm already working hard on next week's decode. I want to make sure I've gone over, you know, every nook and cranny, and it's got to be redemption week. But I'm sorry, I can't give you a clear narrative to redeem ourselves tonight on Monday night because the narrative's just too tight, and the whole thing with Christopher Columbus and Indigenous, it's just making my head spin off the shoulders. So I'm just like, okay, let's regather ourselves, get it together, and ace next week. Because we just got to perform better than this. But at the same time, I hope you're understanding why this week, you know, things caught us off guard. This whole 2-2-1 ritual. I guess I should have listened to that caller. So if that caller's out there listening, apologies to you too, because that's what the riddle you were already on was with. The Black Panther narrative pulled out, and Josh Rosen did get his first win in California. I went back over that and I said, you know what? As I say this out loud, it's looking more and more like the Cardinals and Josh Rosen. It makes more sense for the Cardinals coach, Stephen Wilkes, to get his first win. And that was the way it was. And this week when I present the picks again, we're going to do a live stream. We're going to talk about it because I think it is helpful to talk out loud. And my goal is to be able to do that live stream this Thursday. We're going to go over all the picks. And that gives us time to talk about it and think about it and iron out any kinks we might have. I'm trying to get that perfect week. It's been a while since I had a perfect week of picks. It's something I've done a number of times in the past. It'll happen again this season, no doubt about it. But this week was far from perfect. And again, apologies. Hope you guys didn't blow all your money that you won last week. Hopefully you just did those small conservative bets. I'm telling you, that's the trick. Bet small, win big. And then never get ahead of yourself. Save your money. Bet small the next week. Hope you win big again. Don't ever like win big and say, I'm putting it all on the line and going for the million. That's when you're going to lose it all. Be conservative. Bet small, win big, save it. Bet small, win big, save it. Trying to give you guys those kind of picks. We'll do it a lot more. We didn't do it this last week, but it'll happen plenty of more times. So overwhelmingly, we still picked the majority of games right. Got that Sunday Night Football right. The Texans winning on Sunday Night Football again against the Cowboys. They'd only ever beat them before on Sunday Night Football. Did it again. And are you guys seeing something here with Sunday Night Football? We keep talking about how big 10 is for Sunday Night Football. And it's just coming up huge every week. 10 is the number on Sunday Night Football this year. And I was thinking more about this. I'm seeing a lot of riddles this year with 10 and 55 and 26. And I was thinking about this. I said, oh, duh. I know what this is about. Why did it take me so many weeks to connect this? This is what it is, you guys. The shape of the football, the mandorla, the vesica piscis, in sacred geometry, that shape symbolizes God, right? Vesica piscis equals 53. We're in the year Super Bowl 53. This season began on the 26th of Elul on a date with 26 numerology where the game was all about 26, as we predicted it would be, and it was. So I started to think like, God, I keep seeing 55, 10, and 26. This weekend was also full of 17. All of these numbers are connected to God in this study. All of them. And don't forget God and game with the alphabetic order, you know. Also, anytime there's a date with 19 numerology, if you're a fantasy player, get that number 19 for the Detroit Lions. I notice he's killing on every date with 19 numerology. He's the monster on 19 date numerology. Not a lot of players have that number, do they? But he does. I keep seeing it. But yeah, that Texans game made me laugh. Number 10 with the touchdown. They couldn't score at the goal line before the half, getting stuck on 10 points, didn't go over the field goal. People out there not understanding it's all ritual. Again, 10 in Sunday Night Football, just in case you missed it. It's perfect overlap in all 4 base ciphers. All 4, 10 in Sunday Night Football, SNF. So let me see. I always forget how to get to the chat. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I come to the chat, let's come back and check on the baseball game. The Dodgers are back up on the Braves. Again, today had the big 88 connections, and that's the Dodgers number. If the Braves, the Indians, and the Redskins all lose tonight, I wonder how many people out there will call it a coincidence, you know, on Christopher Columbus Day, on Indigenous People Day. Okay, let me figure out how to get to this chat, see if you guys got any questions out there. I think this is what I have to do. Eventually, I'll just remember. All right, I think this is how I do it. Oh my God, have this whole time I haven't been sharing the screen? Oh my God, you guys. Now I feel like an idiot. Oh my goodness. I have not been sharing the screen this whole time. All right, we're going to screen share real quick. I'll come back to the chat. I gotta make sure you guys see some of these visuals. Whole time I thought I was sharing the screen here. Hold on. Or you know what? Forget it. We already came this far. You guys have been listening to me. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If you guys don't know where my blog is, let me just go to the chat. Goodness gracious. Sorry, you guys. The whole time I thought I was sharing the screen. You guys have been looking at my ugly mug the whole time. My bad. All right, I'm here reading the chat now. Anyone have any questions, things you want to talk about? Now's the time. I'll sit here and chat with you guys all the way up until, well, for at least a half hour if you want. I haven't eaten much today. I got to get some food here, and I got to pick up my lady pretty soon. Okay, here's what I was talking about with the Red Sox pitcher. You want to know what I was looking at with that? Let's do it. Now I got the screen, so I can go to the screen here. Where's ESPN? So I decoded all the pitchers this morning. I wanted to see what was up with the pitchers. I was expecting to see a lot of riddles with the numbers 108 and 54, but then I only found one, and it was the Red Sox pitcher. And then I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Today's October 8th, 10/8, like 108. The Red Sox won 108 games this year. Our big major league number. Again, there's 108 double stitches on a baseball. Major league's 108. And they lost 54 games. Baseball's 54 at the alphabetic order, also with the reverse reduction cipher. 54 outs in a game, big baseball numbers. You know, we saw Barry Bonds this year retire 18 days after his 54th birthday on August 11th. So we just understand how ritualistic the whole league is. And he also retired 73 days before the 114th World Series when he set the record 73 home runs with the San Francisco Giants, the team that has the 114 gematria. Anyway, this pitcher's name, He is the only pitcher that had the 54 or 108 connection, which was the thought I had in my mind before I started decoding them. I was see like, who has these connections tonight? And it was just him. His name's 54. So, you know, that's hard to overlook in light of the Red Sox record this year. We'll see what happens. The Red Sox are on the road against the Yankees. Somebody in the chat said everything seems to line up for the Yankees tonight. So what are you thinking with everything lining up for the Yankees tonight? What's that mean to you that everything's lining up for the Yankees? I guess you said they're on the Yankees, not lining up for the Yankees. Am I still planning on calling Tom Wolfe? That was probably something that I meant to do that I let slip through the cracks. Am I still confident with the Braves? Well, I didn't know that I was ever confident with the Braves. You know, I don't know that I was ever confident with them. I floated narratives of a potential Dodgers, LA and Cleveland World Series because of that whole LeBron ritual. He went from Cleveland to LA 114 days before the World Series, and LeBron James equals 114. So I thought, you know, there's something going on here with that. And then there was the Cleveland National Forest Fire outside of LA exactly 78 days before the World Series, Cleveland 78. So I said, are they trying to tell us there's going to be a Cleveland LA World Series? Obviously, Cleveland's not going to be in it, but LA still has a very real chance. When the season began, I thought LA had a real possible narrative at the World Series because the season began on the 88th day of the year. LA hasn't won the World Series since 88. You know, California equals 88. Manny Machado, the playoffs started 88 days after his birthday. So also the pitcher that the Dodgers are facing tonight, the starting pitcher who's not on the mound anymore, his name equals 88. We talked about that last week. The Dodgers and the Braves had that 88 riddle going last week. Now they're facing each other. So, like I said this morning in the audio I put out, I said, watch what happens with the Indians and Braves because all year they've been attached at the hip and they've pretty much shadowed each other. What one team's done, the next team has done. Win records, everything. And are we going to see the Indians and Braves now both eliminated on indigenous people today? The other World Series narrative that I floated was potentially the Boston Red Sox and the Atlanta Braves. Because, again, the NFL and baseball scripting, they used to be the Boston Braves. If the Braves are out, then that riddle is out. And I got to say, if we don't have Braves tonight and we don't have Indians, which we don't, the next riddle that makes the most sense to me out of this group of teams left, and I could be wrong yet again, because, again, this year I wasn't able to do the homework early in the season like I've been able to do in past years because I was working through that stretch from March to the end of June. I was working. I was just slaving. I was working 80-plus hours a week. I didn't get to do the normal work. And normally we catch the riddles early in the year, which tell us what's going to happen ahead. I was not able to do that this year. So this year I feel like I'm in the dark. But something I am thinking about, just trying to put it together now, is Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers. He did play for the Red Sox. Could we see like a Dave Roberts-centered World Series? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. When spring training began, the two World Series that I floated in spring training, because of this season beginning on the 88th day of the year, was a potential Nationals and Yankees World Series because Trump's 88. He's from New York. He's in Washington, D.C., where the Nationals are. The other World Series narrative I followed back then was, if not the Nationals and the Yankees, perhaps the Dodgers and the Yankees. And that World Series is still possibly in the cards. I think if the Yankees beat the Red Sox tonight, they'll probably win the series. I think if the Red Sox win tonight, they'll probably win the series. Something I pointed out in the morning decode was this game starts at 7:40, which is a curious time because New York Yankees has the gematria 74. You know? So, yeah, I'm not the most helpful with the baseball right now. I was able to pick the games last week and go 6-0, making those 6 picks because they were one-game playoffs. Those are always really easy to do in baseball because they line it up so perfectly year after year. That's something I pointed out in the past. But like I've said, series are harder to call because there's more flexibility. You know, there's a deeper riddle, and that's why you want to know the teams that are destined for the big game. When you see that, it's easier to see, okay, they're definitely going to advance in the series. They're definitely going to win the majority of the games. This year, I don't have that on my side. And that's, again, because I was working and not decoding as I had been in years past when I'd been very good at predicting the World Series. So this year, the problem is I didn't put in the time. And I didn't put in the time because I was lazy. I didn't put in the time because I didn't have the time. So I'm trying to pick up the pieces. J.R. Smooth thinks the Braves are coming back and winning on Indigenous People Day. Let's see. Hurricane Michael is making its way towards the Atlanta area. Yeah, it'll probably be a big conversation in the week of sports. So Florida up through the southeast. Yeah, I'll be surprised, honestly, if the Braves win tonight, just in light of how the Indians and Braves have mirrored each other all throughout the season. It just seems like it's an in-your-face ritual. Can you see my girlfriend's text? I think that means I have to come pick her up right now. But it just seems like it's an in-your-face thing, having the two native teams that have mirrored each other all year lose on this day. I mean, is this an update? Yeah, there's even bigger lead now, 6-2. I mean, and like I said in the audio this morning, this game had 88 all over it. That's the Dodgers number. That's why in spring training I suspected that they might very well be in the World Series again, because that is their number, 88. So hold on, I wasn't paying attention to her last text message. What'd she say? Oh, she offered her classmate to stay here. So if her classmate stays here, that means they can just drive back here together, and I can sit here and keep talking to you guys. You guys are saying it's over now because it's 6-2. That means it's probably over. But you guys, this is the world. Do you guys remember what happened last year in the World Series? Do you remember how crazy those games were? The big leads that were erased and a back and forth. And I mean, think about the way how the Cubs won the World Series the other year over the Indians. That last game was crazy. So they make these games to keep people on the edge of their seat, but like I suggested this morning, both the native teams probably going to get it on Christopher Columbus Day, and that's probably what it's going to be. Sorry you lost money, Jonathan. And yeah, Jonathan was right. Jonathan said in the chat, he said the only game he felt comfortable about was the Chiefs, and rightfully so. This weekend was a mess. I don't know how long you've been here, Jonathan, but I've been talking about some of these riddles that really trip me up. And yeah, it was a bad week. I'll be working extra hard this week for the redemption, because that's where I feel like we need to redeem ourselves. At least I need to redeem myself. I don't want to be leading you guys off the cliff. Let's see. John Gruden, 108. Is that right? Is John Gruden 108? He's not who's coaching tonight. It's his brother, Jay Gruden. But yeah, you're right. John Gruden is 108. Yeah, it could be a little riddle with his brother. John Gruden's definitely getting punked this year by the numbers. Hey, I've called every single Raiders game right this year. Maybe I should just call the Raiders game every week. So far, the Raiders have been really easy to call this year. The AFC West actually has seemed to be the easiest division to call this year. The AFC West, I've noticed that. Called nearly all the AFC West games, right? You guys, the guy who runs Gematria Club is so bad at decoding. He's just so bad. He's the last person in the world that should have ever been charging for picks. I think he got you guys to sign up for it because you guys got into Gematria and you're just like, oh, maybe there's somebody out here. Dude, That guy used to put his picks on my blog, and he would always beg me to start this for-profit thing. And I was like, well, dude, if I'm gonna do a for-profit thing, I'm definitely not picking with you. Or the way you should do picks is say who's gonna win, and then we'll all bet the opposite, because literally that guy's like wrong about every single game every single week. And he's kind of like Tony, tell it like it is. If Tony says something's going to happen, more often than not, it's the exact opposite. So, yeah, the Gematria Club guy is the last person in the world who should have ever been charging anyone for this knowledge, because he thinks in just like non-logical ways. He's not good at decoding, and it's sad that he's collecting money. So. That's a good point, Alex, that the Red Sox, Red Wings, Redskins, I mean, red, what's it make you think of? It makes you think of blood, like a massive genocide, like what happened in our history books. Yeah, Special K, I know that I've done a good job making picks. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I've done things that nobody in the history of the world's ever done. But there's still a lot of room for improvement. And I've always told people it's easier to figure out who's going to win long term based on the riddles that are floating than to call games day by day. When the NBA season starts, though, I'll show you guys. And I'm going to teach you guys how to decode these games so you can start doing it yourself. Basketball is one of the easier things to decode, kind of like how calling those one-game playoffs for baseball wasn't hard. So often the basketball narrative is just so clear based on how many times they've played each other. Not always, but a lot of times. World War I ended 99 years ago. That's interesting. That is interesting. Last time the Redskins won in New Orleans was on 9-9. That is a great observation. Again, all of the numbers say the Redskins win tonight. If there was not this Christopher Columbus thing, I'd just say the Redskins got to win this game. Every number points to them. But this whole Christopher Columbus Indigenous People Day thing is just like, I don't know how they win. Again, if you guys missed what I said earlier, it's Alex Smith's 162nd career game tonight. Alex Smith's 162nd game. In case you don't know what that means, baseball has the gematria of 162. Major League Baseball, 162. And I got to get off right now, you guys. We'll pick it up later. Appreciate y'all tuning in and supporting. Until next time.